Oh,
Just
I
in
think I
case.
turned mine off already.
Yeah, because that could be. You put on vibrate.
good thing you said so.
No, got no put that on there. Can't get it now.
Wait.
In case in bonus.
Oh, you got it. You on. Ah, good. Good thing you said that.
This one gonna be good one. Trust me. This will be a good show.
Hello?
People can't wait. I get some cars in there.
Yeah, advertising. Make it think it's a different kind of a team running.
I know.
I try to stay away from the red race.
I know.
I go in the scene in the morning and that's it for
That's
me.
good, baby. That's good. A little bit that you give you something to get out of it.
So these are our
That you can
our mics and cameras, everything there.
Cameras too.
So maybe I'll do a little intro and then we go straight into it.
Get ready to go live.
Just wait.
Get ready to go live.
Just wait.
You ready?
Just wait.
Yeah,
Panel, just
Try to catch a girl. You want
I'm
unmute
out of glasses as
and
opposed to the shades.
next time you're around, you get some shots.
you're good.
Be walking on
I
that.
just come down there and do it from up there.
Oh, that's more.
Yeah, but I told you no.
Yeah,
They said no time to why you don't know.
I know.
Say I don't know, so I'm
I
helping
know
you.
from now. I know from now.
Okay, we getting ready to start. You ready?
Yep.
Good evening.
Good evening, Brother Dykes.
Welcome to the 5th edition of Can You Remember? This is an informal conversation with honorary Carnival and Summer Festival over the years. Thank you, Mr. Lloyd, on Lloyd's Facebook page. And it's powered by Changes. I am Jerry Dice and he is,
Javon Brooks.
and together we sit and bring you this show. And we speak directly to those people who was part of Angola's Carnival and Summer Festival over the years. This evening we have in our presence Miss Amelia Vanderpool Cubish, Mr. Colonel Harrigan,
No, he did.
Colonel.
Colonel Harrigan, did you get it right? Yes. And Mr. Fitzroy Tomlinson Briggy.
Careful you say that.
Ladies first,
Good afternoon,
we're gonna start with Mrs. Cubish. Amelia.
Right.
Amelia, tell us how you get actually involved in Angola Carnival over the years.
Seems so long ago. And I can't give you years, to be quite honest, but I've been involved in various categories over the years, from backing up Calypsonians, part of troupe. I'm still a part of a troupe, Classic Old Timers troupe. And when I was the director of tourism for the Angola Tourist Board, the minister responsible for culture at the time, Mr. Beard, asked the tourist board to take over the responsibility for Carnival. That was way back in the mid-1990s.
Like, why you have a year?
Huh?
Do you have a year?
Can't give you a year. It might have been 97, 96, 97, but I can't remember because the tourist board was established in 94 or thereabouts. So it would have been, I can look back and get the year for you.
It's 97.
Exactly, but it's
I'm asking the questions, but I know it's 97. Yeah.
97.
97.
And so, yeah, so I was the director of tourism at the time. Alan Gums was the chairman of the tourist board. So I remember having to write a rationale as to why we should take over Carnival. And being in tourism and marketing was part of our remit, we saw it as a product that we could go out, develop and promote to, increase the level of visitation during that particular period of the year. And yeah, so then I left the tourist board in 2009 and that was that. But as I said, I'm still involved as a member of the Classic Old Timers Troupe.
So how was it in terms of knowing working with other people. How was Carnival that time? You was actually directly involved from the tourism aspect.
Well, I think what we saw that we needed to have someone to deal with the day-to-day organization of Carnival, and so the board hired Clement Gold. I believe his title at the time might have been cultural officer. So he was responsible for the day-to-day organization. And after Clement left, then came Briggy.
So it leads me right into my next question, because I work in those times as well, but it's not about me today. And Mr. Gold is not with us, but we have with us Mr. Fitzroy Tomlinson.
Briggy. Say Briggy.
Briggy. Briggy.
It's easier.
Easier.
You became festival coordinator.
Why yeah?
What the?
Why yeah?
I got employed with the tourist board in 2001 after spending a few years. Well, my profession is in health. I think you know that. And I transitioned into that entertainment field back in 2001, employed with the tourist board, and from there until 2010.
Running the festival Lavis at that time, what was it? What was it like?
For me, it was exciting, to be quite honest. My mandate was pretty straightforward: create festivals and activities to attract visitors to the island. So with a mandate like that, it was just a matter of being creative and a matter of just coming up with concepts and learn from what was and tweak what was and create new festivals and new ideas and add to what we already existed. So it was quite an exciting time for me because it was doing my hobby. And as I said, entertainment is my hobby, and I was doing my hobby as a job. So for me, then it was just an exciting, challenging, but exciting.
Can you name one of the events that you put together?
Wow. What I put together created from inception.
Right.
Jazz Festival.
Jazz Fest, Tranquility Jazz Festival, Festival Del Mar, the Caribbean Beach Party, August Monday, Band Clash, I would think came out of communication again activities coming within the summer festival and festivals outside of that was created under that umbrella.
Yeah, and we also worked with other partners on the outside.
Yes.
We helped to move along the Anguilla Yacht Regatta,
Exactly.
Anguilla Arts Festival. So the whole goal at the time was to try to develop events throughout the year so that you could, because our tourist season at the time was very short. Come after Easter, things really went down, so you wanted to increase the level of visitation during the slow times of the year.
Because we know, as I know, and you all will know, that Anguilla, we were celebrating Carnival, and there was a transition into Summer Festival.
Right.
And there's where you all came in. And Briggy, Amelia, what would you say on that? Because it had to be done, and in terms of what was the objective in terms of moving from Carnival to Summer Festival?
But I didn't really want to go into that about the Summer Festival because perhaps it brings up is it really 50th Summer Festival? But I didn't want to go into that. But the thing is, we had boat racing and we had Carnival. And again, if you wanted to have a product that was sellable and that was different, you had the boat racing is what made our Summer Festival unique. So combining the both of them, that was the idea. Then when it was rebranded as Anguilla Summer Festival.
I was part of that really, but Briggy, can you remember exactly who was from the people that you really worked with during those years?
What for the summer?
When you became festival coordinator?
I mean, for me, prior to being the festival coordinator, I used to assist Mr. Benjamin whenever he was associated with Carnival, because as I said, entertainment was always something that I enjoy. But over the years, I worked with so many different persons. I mean, yourself, people like Roy Carty, and bands, different bands, and the different calypso committees. There's so many different persons that we work with over the years, and I mean, a lot of them are still around, still exist, and it's just fun trying to create new activities, Amelia was my boss at the time.
No. They're coming through really good.
We got test already. Possibly.
Okay.
Get back again.
Yes. So Amelia, could you recap what we were saying just now?
Oh God. No, I think the last point was that there needed to be a festival's office, which we did, because he wanted to, as soon as one event finished, he wanted to be able to move into planning for the next event, you know, as opposed to before then, you know, you had to wait until a committee was established and then start, which could have been June, up to June, you know. So for me, that was a critical thing that needed to be done.
We have Mr. Cornell Harrigan here, and we don't want to go too far ahead and leave him out because he played an integral role, and I know very well as a youngster, Mr. Harrigan, and I must commend you for the work that you did over the years for Carnival. I know we tend to sideline people who did a lot, and you did a lot, and now we spend more money in doing things which you did for free. Tell us, the viewing audience, your involvement in Carnival, how did it start, when did it start? This is going to be interesting.
Well, it started in 1974. And it was a group of church
The bazaar.
members. We used to have the August Monday and August Tuesday on the park, right? And for that, we used to have a queen show, to have a queen to parade on the park for August Monday and Tuesday. In 1973, we had problems getting a queen because in those days, parents were very strict about their children, especially going on stage, right? And when we started, we told them about the two-piece, which is the bikini. That created a problem. So Mr. Lake had a problem in getting contestants for 1973 Carnival.
Who said Mr. Lake again?
At that
Don't call
time,
the name.
But that's them 73 and you started in 74.
yeah, 73. This was the which led up to us having Carnival in 74.
Because it was Anglican Church. Because they didn't
Right, because the Anglican Church was in
So you're not going to conceal
control at that
who
time.
Mr. Lake is.
Huh?
You're not going to say who Mr. Lake is. All right, go ahead.
Well, I mean, yes,
There
so
was,
don't
there was only one Mr. Lee.
Raphael.
Oh, wow, he's saying.
So after having difficulty in getting contestants for 73, we had the usual show, and at the end he crowned his daughter as queen. It offended a lot of the older folk, and they decided, well, next year we don't want this to happen, so they let me see, there's one Mabel Gums from the Quarter, Mrs. Woods again from the Quarter, some of those older folks, and then you had younger Belle Reed, Bonis and Renetta Foy, Celestine and myself.
I will help you some of those names because I got those names and I'm a curator of culture.
Okay,
We had Gassie, his father.
okay,
We had McEagles.
right.
We had Belle Reed, as you
Yes.
mentioned.
No, those came after. Those came for 75. Those in 74 were the Anglicans.
74 was Anglican.
Was Anglican, the Anglican members. Those that you spoke about just now that came.
Review the list and see exactly, because I got that from someone who was part of the at that time. And your name is there as well. You can call the names down because we need to salute those people as well. Yes, this is powered by Changes Barn Restaurant, and I am Jerry Dice, and he is
Juan Brooks.
Offering the drinks to the guests.
Okay, those that I called from this list
Yeah.
were the Anglican contingent,
okay.
right? In 1975, these that you have, the others here.
Okay.
Let me, Linda, Gassie, Mackie Eagles.
Belreed.
No, Belreed was there in 74. She was a member. She assisted with the troop. We had one troop in 74,
Okay.
and she assisted with that. Yeah, all these others were the Anglican contingent. These Gassie, McEagles, Florence, and
Yourself?
no. These came in after. So I'm talking about Linda. Linda was off studying, and she came in. I think the week.
But we can call your name
before,
still.
right?
I would love
So
to hear the names called.
these others came for 1975 carnival.
Oh, 975
1975 carnival. I'm talking about 1974, 74 when the Anglican Church had it,
Yeah.
We haven't done that.
and
It wasn't called Carnival. It was
It
the
was.
bazaar.
Yeah. the
because
bazaar.
we added the carnival, the calypso competition, and the Queen thing to the thing. The calypso competition was on the Wednesday, and the Queen show was on the Thursday,
Okay.
right? So
But we continued the Queen show on a Thursday for years. You
yeah,
realize that?
we started it on
on
the
a Thursday.
Thursday.
It was always
Well,
on a Thursday. After the boat race.
after the boat
After
race,
the boat
right?
race.
After the boat race, the Calypso show was the Wednesday, and we had Calypsonians at the time was Paul Fio, Dum Dum, the Mighty Dizzy,
Viva?
Dizzy. No, Beaver was in St. Thomas
Okay.
then. Beaver was in St. Thomas then. Oh gosh, that one he sang Jung's Hole. What's his name again?
Gold Dust.
Gold Dust. Those were the characters that we had for the 1974 competition. And I'll tell you, my pick after the first round was the Mighty Dizzy. I had Dizzy slated as number 1, right? Number 2, when the round came up, everybody called it for Mighty Dizzy. I was looking around, but I was at the door, you know. So I shouted his name now, thinking he was outside and he was coming. No Dizzy.
But you know, a show consists of 2 rounds. So if he's not
Let them say
there,
that that's what they used to do for years now.
so
Just sing one song.
That's
Turn off.
what caused Dizzy to lose the crown.
so Mr. Aragon, as we move forward, because you know, the whole aspect, as I knew you in those days, you was a custom officer, and you was in Trinidad, and you saw Carnival in Trinidad.
Okay.
Tell us your experiences, what get you involved in doing costume. You are here in the capacity of that.
Yeah. Well, in '73, as you said, I was in Trinidad on a customs course, and one of the customs officers from Trinidad that was on the course was in a troop, and she invited me to go to the band camp to pick up her troop costume. So then we went on a Saturday morning, and when I went in there, my dear boy, I was amazed because it was a sea of activities that I was seeing welders, seamstresses there sewing. I mean, the way how they had it organized, each section, you had about 6 sections, and they started with the welders, welding the wire and bending the others, bending it and welding it. Then they moved it to the other section where they had those using the sponge, soft, small sponge, covering the
wire.
wires.
Yeah.
And then they had the other section. They were joining the smaller wires now to hold the cloth. And then they had the seamstresses over on the other section. They getting everything sewed up to just fit over the frame. And over at the end was the section where they did all the final touches, feathers, and everything. I was really amazed to see how, I mean, and nobody there talking, wasting time. Everybody from section 1 to section 6,
Focus.
everybody focusing on what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you get just a sea of activity just going on. I was
love that
amazed.
word, the activity.
And
It was amazing.
yeah, she went to the person who was responsible for getting her costume, and they told her that it wasn't ready. So she had to come back the next Saturday. So I had a second opportunity to go back and see the work, and
The
I
rest
mean,
is history.
I mean, I had to go back in '75 to see Carnival again. It was so amazing to me.
I think
You
that
know?
was one of my first things that I remember about Concha is building costumes, because I recall a group of us going in the primary school right there and putting together the
things,
costumes.
yes.
So when you came back to Angola, when you got this experience, what were you involved? What you started to do, and where did it start in terms of who were the first troop that you
Well,
did stuff for?
that was in '73 that I went to Trinidad, and it happened so that we had the incident with the no contestants, queen contestants. So we started in '74, and a couple of the members invited me to the meeting to discuss the carnival, as they call it, the improvements then for the August Monday, August Tuesday thing. So we
August Thursday.
August
The
Thursday.
same Monday and
August Thursday was always Meads Bay.
yeah. No, you said Monday and Tuesday. So
Yeah, that August Monday and Tuesday used to be on the park
Oh,
for our bazaar.
the church. Yeah.
Right, the church. So we added the Wednesday and Thursday calypso show and thing to it to make it a little more exciting, in other words.
Okay.
Right? So we had the queens and the calypsonians. We added that to it, and the boat racing. That thing was taken into consideration for the Thursday. So we decided to have the queen show after the boat race. The people would come to the queen show and end off the
As you move on, Mr. Harrigan,
the,
who was the members of the committee at that time with you?
of the.
Carnival committee.
That's what I just told you about the older folk.
I was jogging your memory in terms of see exactly if you remember anymore.
No, there weren't any more as far as I can remember.
So
The members in '74, the majority of them didn't come back in '75
Good.
because of
Okay.
an incident that took place.
So could you walk
After
us
the
through?
Queen Council.
Could you walk us through
And,
one troop that your first troop that you did?
The first trip that I did was they call them the bunnies. It was about 20 something
Girls.
girls that we had on the park.
What year?
That was 1974. The 1974. And that year we did the cakewalk also. So we had Hilda Benjamin.
my granite.
That's yeah. Okay. She and Daisy Wang taught us to do the cakewalk. Fericati, he was the musician. His band did the music for us for the cakewalk. All of that we did on the park, the August Monday.
So how many years did you involve in costume building and stuff like that?
I was involved for 10 years. I ended my participation in Carnival in 1985 February.
And what caused that?
We, as usual, we were preparing our first meeting. Usually we did it in February. Government at that time didn't contribute to Carnival. The only contribution they had at that time was to collect the 10% entertainment tax for every show that we had in Carnival. They had an officer from the treasury come there and sit with the collectors collecting the cash.
Who was the coordinator at that time?
Calvert Carter was the chairman at that time, and
That's 85.
no, that was 84.
84.
84. In 85 February, we every year we would start our meetings, discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly about the previous carnival.
You know, now it's gonna leave me from you, Mr. Harrigan, because we have very, very important people here today. And that's where I will come into, but I'm gonna allow Mr. Tomlinson and Miss Amelia, you bitch around the pool, or vice versa. I'll get it right.
Let's call Amelia then.
Amelia. Bring it.
Yes, sir.
You was part of the festival committee for years. Amelia, you worked with Brigade for years. Remember, I'm not gonna say nothing about my part of it.
Involvement.
We just heard what Mr. Harrigan said. What it was like at that time when you took over of Carnival after we had the bazaar and we had that grandeur start in terms of Carnival. In terms of development of Carnival, where we had interventions by all kind of different realms and everything like that. Talk to me.
I don't know. If I want to start, I think we had some good chairpersons. You had a person like Mr. Benjamin, who was not only chairman of the tourist board, but also very involved in Carnival. You had Clive Carty, who was also chairman of the tourist board. And as I said before, you also had Alan Gum. So we had some good, some persons who understood what was involved in the development of events. So I think it made,
for me, when I joined the festival office, well, the tourist board, and the festival office was created. I think, as I say, transition from a cultural office was dealing strictly with Carnival and the culture, and dealing more with a broader aspect, which is the festival, and culture still fits in somewhere within it. But I think over that period, I think, if my recollection served me well, I think it had supportive entities from the board, the various boards, the chairman, the ministers of government. There was strictly support then, even if it's not all the time financially, because that has always been an issue. It has always been a challenge with festivals.
So now everything leads into the next question, because I always try to figure, and Briggy, you can answer this more, and me let you too, in terms of allocation of funds for Carnival. How was it done?
Okay, and I know we're focusing a lot only on Carnival. I know tell you, but with the festival office, that was an operation continuous. So I think some persons over the year thought I was a chairman or something. I was a paid employee of the Angular Tourist Board, working to create and manage festivals. And this is what is essential in ensuring that the support continues. Like, and there's a level of not, you don't break, and next year to become a confusion to restart. I think that was the system in place.
The tourist board was given a subvention, right, from government to not only handle the tourism aspect, but also carnival. If there was any shortfall,
Yes.
they were given a contribution towards the development of.
Yeah, and Briggy, I worked with you, Amelia, over the years, and it was a lot of work. And to get people to be really, really enthused, as Daisy would say, to be part of Carnival, it took a lot of work. Looking back at it, in terms of getting sponsorship and getting people committed, even committed members, how would you say it was? Can you recall? How you can remember?
People, I think it depended, from over the years I saw it depended on who the person at the helm was in. And I think Amelia mentioned Mr. Benjamin. Apart from he and I being very good friends, he was one who actually had a way of motivating the team, pulling the team together. And it was easy to motivate people to get things done. So Benji started from the vendors, the committee members, chair, and contestant, and he also had a good. He was very good at going out and raising funds. He was going and raising funds from corporate entities. So we know government will always give us the amount that will never ever over the years that I've been involved.
How much when you was running Carnival? What was the budget?
Oh, the budget started. I mean, I just show me something here reminding me. In 2002, I mean, this budget was what I trying to see here. Total expenses. What I'm looking at here is like 495,000 in 2002.
I have more recent ones. I have more recent ones. Yes.
And that wasn't the amount that government gives. Government contribution was never that. I know for sure that wasn't there. I'm just looking at these expenses and see. I mean, we always tend to go over the limit. I can't tell you off the top what the expenses were at that point in time.
If I just may, I mean, I think back in those days you had really some good sponsors. For sure, at one point the Queen Show.
Yes.
You were gonna get. It was like a competition for cable and wireless. And
NBA.
NBA. CCB was the teenage pageant. And there was another entity.
Tropical. David Hodge used to be against.
So you had people
Monkey for the
Social Bank was there as well. Yeah.
Even when we had introduced the Leeward Islands Calypso show, you had Anglec and what other bank name there?
Barclays. Yes. They used
was named Barclays as well.
Yeah, Barclays.
Yeah, it was Barclays.
They came on board to help the sponsor. Of course, we never were able to have all the funds that were needed, but you had sponsorships in those days who were ready to come forward with some of the things. Years after it went down, you couldn't get any sponsorship for the Queens.
I don't think we should also forget some of those hardware supporters that did a lot for the thing. Waco, Albert Lake. The material you could have gotten from some of these places was beyond measure. And what they did for us, you were able to carry over. There was always a rollover. There's never a year that we didn't have some type of rollover in terms of expenses. But I think what the management structure did was ensure that there was also some level of control in how things were done. I mean, you get screaming at you're over budget, but still there was a certain level of management within the operation, which is good.
I'm going to present to you something, Brigade, that you know me personally. Amelia, you know me personally. 1997. I'm going to present to you that, and look at the committee who was in charge of the various activities, and you look at people like what we had doing.
This is like the Public Relations Committee.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean those people. Some of them are still with us, and you see what Brigade name is.
1997.
That's a long time ago.
That before I joined the tourist board.
And it detailed all aspects of the marketing for Anguilla Carnival.
Yeah.
And that was a good approach that we had in those days.
Yeah.
And it stood firm for a lot of years.
I
You know,
We
and
need to get back to the chairman now. The new chairman out there.
Mimi-
We need to try to do something better.
we must salute Mimi.
Yeah.
Biggie,
Yes,
you know,
Mimi,
Mimi
Mimi.
Gratton
At-
was
at the time of the
always
tour, yes.
very instrumental in terms of making sure that we get things out there, because at the time, if you look at the logo, it's not on that, but I mean, I think I have it here. Anguilla Summer Festival came after when the tourist boat took it over. It was Anguilla Carnival.
Okay, yes, it was Carnival.
And it was Carnival. And we are celebrating 49 years this year.
Of 50 years.
It's fun.
50 years.
It's 50 years.
Started 74.
74.
50 years.
Started
So
No
we
74.
are-
one get that thing. Say 50
Yeah,
years.
that's
So
Do
we
50 years.
okay. No, somebody asked me that quiz me today. I say we celebrate 50 years, and they told me no, it's 49 years. So we're not going to go that far, really. But they told me that
Because in 2000,
you can't born 74 and have a year in 74. There'll be 75. You make it 1 year, right?
Oh my God.
That's a debate.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was a child in high school, saw me today, they knew me, the family connection, and they told me that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we're
Can I
gonna,
tell you that?
yes.
Wow. Wow.
And this is interesting and important.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
Never know.
but if you go by what Mr. Harrigan said initially, you would have still be in line because you did start the
73,
year before.
73.
yeah.
It starts 74.
No, you did start the year before.
We start 74.
But you see, but he's in status of a tree.
At least it had something there.
And I was the last year of the church. 73.
The record shows that, you know, but
Yeah, but you take
that's another debate.
that's
we-
another
we
debate.
gonna go because-
You take a full time with that guy.
Yeah. Briggy,
Yes, sir.
you was part of you were one of the main architects of the Caribbean Beach Party.
Yeah.
Walk us through what was really was required to put on an event like this. What resources was needed, the logistics, and I mean it's a mammoth event, and it's not easy to put on.
Let's
Walk us through
let's
this.
don't do the beach part. Let's answer why did you move the Juve from around the block?
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Let's go. Let me do that
Oh yeah, no, it was really there, but
Yeah.
But
no problem.
Let me say this. I was just a support person behind the chairman, and I can't honestly recall
What?
why
Yeah.
why the Juve was moved to Sand Ground. I know it wasn't supported at all
Yeah.
by a lot of entities. Most of the entities in the valley I could name, from City Liquors, English Rules.
Because they would have
and
lost some
everybody
business.
would have lost business. The vendors isn't supported. My job was simply to facilitate whatever the chairman at the time or the committee decided that this is what we were going to do.
So that was
I really
basic
can't-
John
I-
Benjamin
I-
idea.
I really can't recall what led to that, but I know it was my task to help to put the project in place. And from that, going into Sandal, we kind of developed a team effort. Mr. Benjamin would normally look about the bands getting the Juve aspect of it. I haven't, to be quite honest, I only saw Juve going into Sandal Ground after I stopped doing it, the festival in 2010. But I never got involved with that part. My job was to stay in Sandal Ground and create the handoff. He hand the crowd over to me, and I take it from there, and we go with the beach party.
The first year y'all did that. How it played out, coming from the Juve into the beach party.
I don't know if the first year that we did the Juve going into Sand Ground, we had the beach party. Yeah? I don't quite remember that. That will probably help me with that. I know we got to Sand Ground that year, but I'm not quite sure if we had the beach party that year.
But that boat race, you had the boat race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
we'd have had the
we would have,
boat-
we would have
yeah,
had a
boat
boat
race,
race.
yeah.
But I don't remember if we have the beach party. The beach party came out of a group of politicians, some of them from St. Martin and otherwise. They were discussing after the boat race goes out, the boats goes out. What happens
There's
after that?
nothing, yeah.
And everybody was bored. Well, not totally bored, but on the beach, not much happening.
Yeah.
John always have a band, and there was music on the beach. And then I was charged again with the task of creating
Event.
a
Something
party
in-
to keep everybody entertained while the boats are out. So that's where the beach party was. That's where it was born. And the first year we did a stage The guy Bullet, good job, build a boat stage in front of Janos, right by the side of Janos to the beach.
So
the
that would
seaside.
that would the beach party was. It was in front of Janos.
The first
I didn't
year.
get
The
it.
I
first
can't
year.
remember that, though.
Yes.
I
Year
was so
one.
smart.
No, year one it was on the beach, and that was what, the south side of Janos.
The south
On
side,
beach.
right?
Right. It was on the beach, and a stage was built right there by just before you get to
By the wharf.
No. When I said south side, help me here.
South side is by the side to the police station.
No. It's on the other side.
On
On
the
the
north
north
side.
side. Right.
North side.
Right in front of Janos. Right in front of Janos. That's where the first stage was. Right? The first act, as a matter of fact, Destro performed that year with a band from Trinidad. Right? And we built the stage there. And the only problem that we had there at the time was that O'Reilly, the smoke from his grill was going on the stage.
Oh, shucks.
So that was the first year. And the truth is, there was no real, I would think, apart from planning the party, there was no background, no decision as to what this is going to become. So we were just creating a party. We built a stage and we created that. And that was year one. But because the smoke was affecting the stage and the entertainers on stage, we decided to move it further down the beach. And then I think Mr. Benjamin contacted the owners of the land, and we actually move it down to where it presently is
right now.
Right? So by year two,
Uh-huh.
we started doing the same thing. And we realized that this thing did not only grow, it mushroomed into something much bigger than any of us thought it was going to be. Right? So year two, we started having, I would say, problems.
But then I recall too that you also was doing something on the Sunday too.
That come a few years after. I can't remember the exact year.
The Heineken.
Heineken boat. You used to have, what you would have had was the Heineken warm-up race on Sunday, I think, and then on Monday was the Monge party and support Monge boat race. I think Monge on the Monday. I think it was Monge support the boat race. So basically, we what we had the year two is that it became a big event, and I think discussion started then. You know what, we should do something similar on Sunday. So from Sunday we started developing Sunday into what can we do on Sunday, knowing that there were actually also other activities at the carnival at the Lansom Bowl at the time. So you have to be mindful of that.
It used to be princess
show. So you have to be mindful of that. But one thing you should try to remember as well is that the whole event and party in Sandy Ground only grew because there was actually nothing happening in the village on Monday night. Right. Because we tried a number of things prior to that. When I got there, I think Dr. Linda Banks used to do the cultural African show on the Monday night. Yeah. Right, Emancipation Day, and he used to push that show. And I don't think it went out very well, the attendance and everything else, because most persons would have been to the boat race, and then some persons would not have left the boat race to come back to the village. After that, we tried to do some international shows on the Monday night, because I remember doing people like Barry Salmon, people like...
That wasn't shoes.
Oh, that was Monday night. Monday night. We did a number of these shows. Culture, berries. We did so many different shows on the Monday night. We did so many shows on Monday night. A number of artists, you name them, we tried it on the Monday night. So that's why I say that the Juve going to Sandy Ground was never the same time as the beach party started up. We used to do the international shows on the Monday night. But some of these, you did get some attendance, but it was not something to make it balance out. So I think the decision to create the beach party and put more effort on it, and people staying on the beach grew. As a matter of fact, it didn't even grow, it mushroomed into something much bigger than that what we anticipated at the time. You know, so we didn't have it planned out. There was never a year that we said that this was planned, this is where it's going to go in 5 years. I think after we did it, after the third year, we started trying to pull back, because it was a case of how do we get this monster control. So we had to look at things like the security, the whole safety aspect of it. The boating, we years after we got the disaster preparedness.
You can recall that. I can jump in here because
we got everybody
mass gathering.
Yes, a mass gathering with customs, immigration,
fire,
police, everybody. And what we did then was ensure that there was a central command station to manage the affair, because it got so big. So my job was strictly ensuring that the activities on the stage of the day goes on. But then you also had a number of different entities giving support. ASPA came on later in the game, and we had a full support team just to try to get it controlled. You know,
We're gonna give everybody a chance here. Remember, this is powered by Changes Bar and Restaurant. And Amelia, Carnival, Summer Festival, then and now. What are your thoughts relative to shows and events? What do you think? Are we dropping off? Are we gaining? Or what?
Yeah, sometimes when I think about it, I find it a little bit sad. For me, you know, in those days, way back, Carnival never really paid for itself, but you know for sure that the Calypso show and the Queen show in particular would pay for themselves and other shows, the Bandorama as well, you know. And I find it a little bit sad that those shows now, particularly the Calypso show, really isn't. I don't know. The last Calypso show I went to, I mean, the village was half full. You know, it's like, which I find really sad. I think I used to say that the Calypsonians, you know, the carnival is coming every year, and I think they wait so late, and so you don't really motivate people, you know, to go out.
I think the Calypsonians need to be out like all now to motivate us.
Totally.
To bring up the spirit of carnival
So
and
we have some
culture.
tents and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Going around that.
I mean,
The
last
culture,
year-
for the culture.
Yeah.
And even the Calypsonians, I used to say, you know, the senior Calypsonians, they could have adopted a junior Calypsonian,
Right.
you know, someone to be a junior Calypsonian. So you have your support as a senior Calypsonian spilling over onto, you know, the junior Calypso show. You know, those kinds of things. The Leeward Islands Calypso, I think that was a really very good event that, you know, we had put in place. Again, it also never paid for itself, but it had, you know, other islands were...
regional support,
Yeah.
international support.
Yeah, sponsors for
it had
the-
some sponsorship, not sufficiently, but
But it also had, what it did was it gave you some visibility, Anguilla recognition that we are going to Anguilla to participate in this regional event, and it put us again to some extent our festival on the map because people started adopting what we were doing
Right.
and copying what we were doing. So it actually put us to a whole other level.
Kancha, give us an idea of one of the highlights and you know, some details of your memorable work that you did, experiences you had over the 50 years.
50
Like
years.
like in terms of the costume that you made.
Oh,
Give us an impression of you know, what stood out for you in those days, or who you work for.
I had quite a few contestants that I made costumes for. Every year I made costumes. Can't remember the names of some of them, but in 1980 I did the rainbow for Brenda Gums from North Hill.
Just walk towards board.
Yeah, that's after, but we did in 1980. In 82, I did two costumes, one for Brenda Huggins and one for Marlene Rogers from Little Dicks. I remember with Brenda, because I was doing the two of them in the high school. You know, you could see her facial expression when she would come and look at hers and look at Marlene's one. She, you know, was kind of, obviously dissatisfied. Marlene one was
Looking better.
than hers. But as time progressed, and about a week before the show, she came one afternoon, and when she saw it, the first thing I was looking for her facial expression, and I saw when her eyes light up, you know. Hers was waterfall, and Marlene one was the hibiscus, red hibiscus, the tree with the flowers on it, and I could see, I mean, her face changed, that she was feeling better with the
But
thing.
did they
So-
give you a team before they you know, before you start doing the work? Or
well,
you
they
did
will
it on your own?
just say what
Just
they
approach
want.
you.
It was always what they wanted.
Okay.
I did
okay.
what they wanted, you know.
So
And,
what did
I
you
would
feel?
work-
how did you feel at that time, or how did you felt at that time in terms of you look at a person and say, well, this one suit her or whatever. I want to know
So
exactly.
I did what
No,
they
they
what they
wanted.
wanted,
What
what
they wanted.
they wanted, and the satisfaction for me was to see when they looked at it and when they
Finished.
went into it with the final product was finished. To see the satisfaction from them, that made me feel that I did.
Which bring
did a
me back
good
now
job.
as time goes, and bring back now in terms of my questions are intertwining in terms of now to Briggy and Amelia. The days when you was part of Anguilla Carnival Festival, where in terms of tourist board and Briggy has been the festival office, we used to have slogans for Carnival.
Is that what?
Slogans, themes for Carnival.
Yeah.
So Mr. Harrigan just spoke about in terms of certain aspects of people want certain things, and teams like I can give you teams of Carnival Anguilla. I mean I have a lot of them. I have a lot of stuff. We're gonna give a prize away, Javon, today in terms of
But I think though, I mean, Concha had to do what the ladies want. They knew what they wanted
What they
to
wanted.
represent, so he had to do what they want.
I had to form the
This was the
picture in
queen
my
show.
mind
Yeah.
what they wanted. They say what they would like, and I just formed the picture and walk. Well, I didn't have a picture from them to work with. I had to form the picture in my mind of what it should look like, and build it from scratch.
So when you hear a team in 1999, which full of fun, free of crime, Anguilla Summer Festival, 1999. If somebody approach you and tell you they want a costume, depicting that theme,
Full of fun.
what would you approach would have been?
Full of fun. Full of
You gotta
fun.
focus on that part.
Yeah, that's the first thing I have to focus on. Fun. How
Free of crime.
yeah, how you would be if you want to have fun, how you look, how you perform, having to have fun.
Right? I know you guys.
So so that would be the first thing that I would have to put in my mind of someone having fun. Think of how people have fun, how they behave,
How to
would be the
behave,
first-
and then free of crime.
and then
Yeah, but the free of crime really would have been
Yeah.
related to the carnival
Yeah.
event as a
Yeah,
whole.
I'm trying to get in
This is
Mr.
after-
Harrigan's mind in terms of how you come up with a costume and
Yeah,
stuff
do
like
that.
that.
Yeah,
to depict
that's
those sort of things.
impossible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
impossible.
Could be
Yeah.
conflicting.
The
Yeah.
one thing that I just wanted to say, and I know we get down to the end now, when you ask about then and now, and I know I might get a knock for this, but I think that I find that we are not as creative, and I'm thinking particularly about the parade of troops. I find that we're not as creative as we could be. We are just trying to present what is out. We can't be Trinidad. We
What
can't
everybody
be,
is
So I
doing.
think that we need to make our summer festival a little bit more unique, and I think really the Parade of Troops needs to be more creative in the costumes that are out
That they
there.
will
And
do
I'm
that.
not a prude or anything like that, but I just think, and this is something that is not only spoken about here. I think all of the islands have the same issue with the kinds of wear or attire that
I think that style is like a present style, and I think all the islands
have no gravitated
gravitate
towards
to that.
that. Yeah, this is unfortunate because I think, as I said, we could
be unique.
Yeah.
This question gonna be to you all three. What are the highs and lows of Carnival over the years that you can recall? Can remember the show's name? Can you remember the highs and lows of Anguilla Carnival over the years?
I think that kind of almost similar to the question you asked before, the then and the now. What can you recall of then and now? I think for me, I've seen the transition. When I got on board and you just show me dates committee that I was on in '97. That's before I joined the tourist board. As I said before, that myself and Mr. Benjamin, I used to support whatever he was doing. The then was a lot, again, free of crime. Night events,
Night jams,
jams were like
Yeah.
easy to do. It was so easy to do a night jam then. and to see that you can't do it now in an island with just X amount of thousands of people, less than somewhere like St. Martin that can do stuff like this. I think that is one of the low part for me now. In terms of the transition, you will see that in everything. The music change, the shows change. The attendance, like Amelia pointed out earlier, the attendance changed from what was a big night. Calypso was a big night. Queen Show was a big night.
Okay, bring it. Hold on a minute. I want to bring J Marvin this. I don't want to leave J Marvin with this in terms of, let me call him by his government name. Javon. You work with Brigade. He was instrumental in terms of band clash. He was managing a band. Why you charged with the high moments of that, and what caused what we call the deterioration right now? Band clash is not at the height, and I know Brigade know exactly where I'm coming from with this.
I think what happened though, the culture has changed in Anguilla, which has things that you used to do before you couldn't do no more. As in the band rivalry. You couldn't say certain things no more because you were getting too serious. So that kind of tried to kill it. But the band clash started out of the same rivalry, right. The competition between some people
the bands.
Some people take it really too
serious. But I mean, because
so when they started to get serious, they were kind of killing it.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you couldn't say certain things because now you're afraid to know why will come back out of there now, and you don't know why would happen when you go out to an event. Why would it happen?
Yeah.
Because that would have turned into that a little bit. So I think that was kind of helped to fade it up a little bit. But and then bands.
Yeah, the bands. I don't think you have a lot of bands that like you had before.
As before, the culture, the band, we ain't got a band, really truth. We only got like 3 or 4 bands.
Yeah, but the music changed.
But before when I used to go to the meetings though, right? We used to have like 7 or 8 bands. But right now, if the guy come a meeting right now, I guarantee don't have 4 to 5. But they have so much of bands.
Yeah. I know that Amelia, Brigade, I think it was before your time. Not saying that you're that young, but Kancham, Mr. Aragon and Amelia. But remember, we had people like Artels used to play in the village for Bandarama.
Yeah, it was part
and
of that.
It was real attired to go in the village and you see those guys from an Hava came down. And if you remember Artels, the name spells the names of all the
brothers and sisters.
And I can recall those days, and they had speakers. I mean, it's so much and to remember. But can you remember why we have drifted away so much? Because that was fill the village, and now we have nobody going.
I remember when you had Bandarama and the bands used to dress.
The dress code was.
The cars on the driving a vehicle and all of that, and they had the songs that they had to the theme song that they all had to play. Right. It was really, I don't know, it was. They don't
have a dress code. There's no dress code. There's no dress code at all.
Let me interject. Let me interject here. Let me interject here. I think, and I could say from it, I was there from that far back, but the transition process. Remember, the Bandarama had gotten to a level where every year the Musical Brothers would win the Bandarama.
One band was winning.
And it was one band, and it was for lack of a better word, it had gotten monotonous and boring. So I think when the whole band talk came around and we initiated, because remember the Better Band was a hot band at the time, right. And they were not involved in the village, so to speak. And I remember talking to them and trying to get them over to be a part of the Bandarama. And we had created, with your assistant Dice and the guys over here, get them to create a criteria and allow the bands to express themselves. So the younger bands are given a chance to express themselves. And that, at the point in time, was the attraction. The attraction was all the bands had a chance to go up there for half hour, express themselves, and at the same time they still play this test tune, which was.
But they never used to focus so much on the test tune.
Some of them did. Some did. Some did.
Yeah.
Some actually did.
Because
some actually did.
It's trying to be all the time.
Yeah, but what happens is that the transition.
Everything was there.
No, but what happened also the transition during the transition period. You remember that we are leaving from trying to. The boring and only a certain audience to getting a mass audience.
Right.
And I think if I'm being honest right now with what's happening now, Is the problem is trying to get the transition from what we created then to what do we have now, and how we do move from that now into the younger audience that we have now, and how
I
you
think
get them involved.
the younger audience who come to the
No.
I think they're going to be interested in the
No,
the panorama.
no,
The panorama
and that's where your creativity will come in, Mark. How do you transition from where you were to from how you transition from Better Band era to now having Exodus era?
Right.
I mean, I saw that era from it was what Better Band to what I mean.
kind of
No, the point when the Better Band broke up, it was movements and then PVI and there was a couple of bands in between it, and there were fragments of the Better Band, right?
No,
And
three.
then-
But
Three
Vito,
fragments.
matter of fact, was Vito before that.
no,
no,
but
after
yeah,
that-
but I'm saying
It was like 3 fragments of a better band.
exactly.
It was 3.
Yeah. You know, so movements. It was movements.
And then
there was-
ABC.
yeah, exactly. So
That was they had so much a band. They had so much a band.
right. So
From Better
what I'm
Band-
saying now, where you are now, is that transition point. If you have bands in Angular, how do you transition from that era to the now era? What do you do and you still get that audience? So I understand we're talking about the year of the Artels and everything else. Is that, as you say, can you recall? I can't recall. I could recall. I could recall my transition is from the Mussington, North Sound into the Better Band, the movements, and now into the Exodus. So I could see that transition. So where do you go from there? I don't even know the name of the bands who exist
I don't
now.
even know if we got new bands, new brand new bands. I don't even know. I don't even think so.
I don't know.
Amelia left the tourist department, the tourism department,
Tourist board.
resigned, retired, whatever the case may be. She was no longer present there. Concha departed from
19,
Bending Steel.
1985
Wire.
February. Everything.
What year was Concha?
1985.
1985.
Yeah,
Let me
right,
put that
right.
down there because
That's when I
maybe I
left.
read it down before I want to make sure I got it. Because Concha, I keep a lot of vibes, eh?
Yeah. I couldn't say no before 1985, but I learned to say no and mean it. 1985.
Okay.
And Briggy,
Yeah.
you was all these the last questions are based on you
2010 you left.
because
Right?
no, you're not gonna leave Amelia, but you're gonna come in and Concha
No.
gonna
I
leave.
said Briggy left at 2010, right?
2010, it was
Yeah.
the festival office was closed in
And I did not record the year that Briggy left for voice purposes.
Why? So you got everything recorded?
I'm not gonna record that. Briggy is my friend, my
Why?
personal friend.
Okay.
And Briggy,
Yes.
these couple of questions are gonna be very serious questions,
Oh.
and this world gonna hear answers.
No controversy.
We
Yeah,
it's not controversial.
he knows I
really.
stay away from that.
Okay.
He knows I
We talk all the time. It is not controversial.
All right.
It's just a matter of the truth. In years ago, we used to have festival Caribbean Beach Party. We call it what?
August Monday.
August Monday
and the
Caribbean Beach Party.
whatever, yes.
We used to have acts like, Zouk X and stuff like that. Kassav and all those bands from the because we had a contingent from the French and Dutch communities
Yes,
over the
Martinique,
years.
Guadeloupe, St. Martin, Prince St. Martin, yes.
We had Mercury Motors, used to
On
be a
Sunday.
big sponsors and everything like that.
That used to be a Sunday thing.
Yes.
What happened?
In terms of what? I mean, I'm not
We
there anymore,
don't have that. No, like
Okay,
when you
but-
were there,
but-
what?
but-
Because
okay,
it was
like-
a fall off. It was a fall off.
like
What really happened?
like I said, the festival got mushroomed after about year 3. It mushroomed in something. You could probably help me with the dates that it started. But about year 3, it mushroomed much bigger, and we had to put some control measures in place. I don't think then it fell off. It was just a matter of we trying to control how much more it could go out of hand. We started looking at safety measures, security measures, and you have to put those things in place. But also to sustain an event of that nature is very, very expensive. When I actually left, when in 2010, well, actually probably 2009, I would say the budget for that was just over $200,000 US in
Just for August Monday?
just August Monday.
What year it was?
2009.
2009, 2000.
Look back to what I gave you just now
Right.
and see compare to what was going on.
Until now.
See when the changes was made
The budget. No.
drastically.
Expenses, well, this is revenue.
They have both of them there,
Expenses.
revenue and expenditure there.
Yeah, there ain't much revenue. Big revenue. This is expenses for This is what?
It-
August
it
Monday?
got August Monday.
Caribbean Beach Party. Yeah, they're talking about $275,000 in expenses. And
That was
again,
US or EC.
this look like
That
easy
EC
money.
dollars.
This easy money.
So that'd be like how much money in the
2012.
US? Huh?
In 2012,
That's
No, how much
2012.
money that be in US?
it was 100,000. 100,000.
100,000.
100,000.
So you can ask questions from that now in terms of looking at that time.
And I did it again. I think I took it even when I left the tourist board. I was contracted to do it privately, and I was
I think that
also-
was like way back in like that be like
2016, 17, 18.
After you left for a couple of years.
15, 16, 17 I did event. So again, as I said, it mushroomed into a much bigger production in terms of cost factors. And everything increased over the years. And I mean, some of these funds was raised from, by that point in time, because government normally give 100,000 EC dollars towards that event.
Okay.
And in the past, I have raised up to 92, 93,000 US dollars additional to governments
To cover that, to cover the cost.
to cover
of
some of the
event.
costs. To cover some of the costs. And most of this came out of entities in St. Martin and some local branding, tropical distributors, Heineken.
Why did you move over to Samad to get sponsorship?
Well, of course, a lot of the audience was from St. Martin,
Yeah.
and they saw the need. And as a matter of fact, sometimes we didn't have to go too far because they wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to have a brand. So what we had to do, a brand presence. So what we had to do was basically control what each sponsor gets. Okay, you still couldn't leave the sponsor.
Did that make an issue with our local business here?
That's what I'm
This
just gonna say.
side the importance of it.
That's what I'm just gonna say is that we have to incorporate the local sponsors. What we tried to do in those years, we tried for that particular event. You have a liquor brand, a rum, a beer, and sometimes a wine. And we have got
Okay,
sponsorship
yes,
from
yes,
people like
yes.
Prime and a couple of distributors.
They would have
and
covered malts and coke and
all
that kind of
kind of
stuff.
stuff. Right. But
then
the
you
thing is, if you understand the market, there is a lot of
I'm not
St.
sure
Martiners
it's-
that comes over for that particular event.
So your idea was you was trying to get sponsorship.
Should
And
have
you
been
wasn't trying to
overseas,
just
yeah,
have
so I don't know.
Heineken. You was trying to get multiple sponsorship.
To support the event, But what I'm saying is that you have to
This is
also
really
understand
this is what the
that
Hotel
St. Martin
Association,
uses
you
the
know,
the statistics
they would have
from
been
the
part
beach
of
party
the Hotel
to
Association.
get to get their budget.
The budget.
Right, so they have no problem
Saying
in
this,
sponsoring the event
right.
because they're using the statistics from the show to present
overseas,
to
I
their
don't know.
brand
Just
office
brand
to
office.
get the sponsorship
was
support.
good.
So all we have to do is tap to the right persons. There are a number of entities over there that people are coming over if you create the right product. And the key thing first is to create the right product to attract people to come across. So once persons are coming across, then you have grounds to go and seek sponsorship support. If you get what I'm saying.
How
So it's a
how can we improve the August? When last you been to the August Monday?
Last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
How can we improve
at
it?
It's
I mean,
it's
that's
a lot of
not
work
gonna go,
first,
but-
and you gotta have a team. You know, when I did it, I had
Yeah,
a team.
You can hold on your hand.
Not only not only
Local people.
local people. The guys who work the local team, they finish work Sunday night, and I tell them I don't want to see them again till Tuesday because I know everybody's gonna go party and Juve and everything else. So I normally have an overseas team that come in to assist with the production on the ground on the day. So that in itself,
They got stage manager.
production. My
songs.
good friend Derek Lewis, he passed away a couple of years now. I used to
Okay,
get
remember
him,
that? I used to be with
used to
you.
get him here.
Even with the jazz.
So we had so many different entities to make sure the event works properly because it's a lot of work to get a professional event done. So in terms of improving what we have, first gotta look at what kind of money you're gonna spend.
How much money you right now in these times now you think we need to spend to make our August Monday the best
With
in the Caribbean?
with the cost of artists and production and gear and travel and everything else, I don't see you doing it for less than, as I said, $250,000 US for that, in terms of getting all that you need to make a production work, right? In my experience, right? Right now you could skim, and this is not all of it coming from government. As I said, you have private entities that will support it. If you create a product they get the branding rights from the screens to the whatever you can have the support, but you have to do it early. Plus, you have to have the right attraction in terms of the right acts on board and the right marketing to get it out there. Because there's a business aspect of it that a lot of people don't see.
So who owns Anguilla? What's it called?
Caribbean Beach Park.
Who owns the marketing rights for that?
Well, nobody owns the marketing rights. It's part of the summer festival.
Okay.
So right now it's owned by the Anguilla Summer Festival, right? But I think over the years I've seen the summer festival trying to give it away because it becomes such a big headache. But I don't think we understand enough about it to manage it. So that the easiest thing to do is to give it to somebody outside.
That's why
a
it's like what you're saying. Back in the days when y'all had an office, that's why it's really needed right now. The kind of office now could control all of this thing.
Yeah, well, as I said, that's a debate that is somebody else's debate.
It's really needed.
That's somebody. I'm not saying it's not needed, but I say that is somebody else's debate. In that is something that was. We had an entity there that existed to facilitate and support festivals development, production. I mean, that's my expertise. Doing the production and make sure that they work. So at the end of the day, we are at a level where if you have a lack of experience, you're not putting enough funding in it, then of course, as I said, then and now, it will fall off. So you have to create now, put someone in it, get a team. Well, first get a team together, get the support system in terms of the facility and the personnel. And this is not like Amelia said earlier, it's not a July thing, it's not an April thing, it's a last year thing.
Okay, how was it working with the late John Benjamin?
Excellent. I mean, as I said, we were
friends before. What can you record working with him?
Benji would be
a highlight.
Benji wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, people say Benji,
okay,
and he goes to the radio station and he goes and he speaks. But before he goes anywhere, he will call me first and ask me what are we discussing today, because we had a connection, a chemistry, where he knows that if he goes to the radio station and talk about Calypso show is set because I told him it's set.
Yeah.
He go and talk about Queen show. He knows that it's set because I told him.
I want
let me finish. Don't jump in because it.
right. Stop about that. Stop about that. Listen, audience.
Let me. He knows that whatever he's going to speak about is already set because we have some type of control measure in place to produce that event. Whether it be from the committees, I already have the liaison, so we are set. We're ready to go. So we had that chemistry and that respect and belief in each other. So he's going to go and talk, and he was the man up front to go and talk. So I was the person, our office was the person behind that to make sure that whatever he says, we implement. So that's our my recollection of working with Benji, and I said it was beyond Summer Festival. We were affiliated before that. I supported what he does, and he will call on my expertise because we are similar love for events and entertainment.
We had changes, Barn Restaurant, and it's powered by them. And I am Jerry Dice, and he is
Jamal Brooks.
We are speaking to Amelia, Kyle, Concha, and Briggy. Briggy, you're gonna finish off this because you're in hot seat today.
I wonder why.
For some reason, we can have him again.
I wonder why.
No, we can talk a lot more.
We can have Briggy all the time because Briggy he been there and he knows a lot about the whole aspect of him, John, making Carnival work. Briggy, we know that Anguilla Carnival used to be Juve, used to be down round the block.
Someone said we need Zouk on the beach.
Had it all the time.
And can you recall what year it was that we started going on?
No, you recall. But
I know that, but I mean,
But you moved away from here when you were
I went through.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went through that.
But there's a part I really have to get in here in terms of Briggy. Not because he's my friend. Briggy is a producer. Briggy, what does it take, or what did it took you the years when you was organizing Carnival to do sponsorship?
to do.
In terms of arranging sponsorship, in terms of activities, the tiers, you got platinum, you got gold, you got whatever, you come down to whatever.
Yeah, as I said before earlier, Mr. Benjamin did a wonderful job of getting corporate sponsorship, because a call from Mr. Benjamin to certain local entities, and again over in St. Martin, we did a lot of trips to St. Martin, and I keep focusing on St. Martin because we shop over there. And we shop in St. Martin, we move across, and we, a lot of commerce happens, and they're willing and ready to support some of the activities once you approach them right with the right sponsorship method. And most sponsors, well, not most, all sponsors want branding and visibility and the chance to get more of their products out. That's all they want. So if you are mindful of what they want, then you have to create the forum or the activity or the levels to give them what they want. And what I normally do is after the event got, for example, August Monday, I've gotten to the level where, hey, this is a big deal. So if you want a piece of the big deal, you come and talk to me with big money. So you can't come to me with small money to talk to August Monday, and you're very firm with that. So you know, there's no sponsor that could come to me and I mean, my good brother Willis will tell you that. I am the one who give them a hard time, because if you come and tell me small money for the event and I need big money for the event, I'm gonna say, okay, let me move from you and go to the other guy, right? Because that is important. You're basically wasting our time. So you first have to create the package, the product, create a product, and which is your show, be it Band Clash, be it August Monday, be it Queen Show, be it Calypso, whatever the sponsor wants. You create a product. And when you create a product, you go out and you basically say to that sponsor, this is the product that we have. How do you want your visibility on it? And how does that help you as an entity? How does that help you to be visible? Is it the audience? And that's why I said the August Monday was St. Martin audience. Not only St. Martin, but as far as Guadeloupe. And I have gone to Guadeloupe and to look at what they have and to see what the opportunities are over there. So I kind of had an understanding of how some of these things work.
So Changes gave $800 and Ashley gave $8,000. So could it be the gold sponsors? Alan could be gold sponsors?
If changes, yeah. What I'm saying is that again,
I'm asking a question.
No, that's fine. I'll answer you. If the $800 is for, like Mab said, a particular event. If I am the gold sponsor for that particular event, if I'm giving it for the water, the event is the water bottle. I'm giving $800 for the water to be at the water bottle. I am gold sponsor for the water bottle, right? But I cannot be the gold sponsor for overall event, because then the other sponsor would get upset that I gave you 8,000 and you give 800 and we are the same level. It's like everything else. We can't drive a Benz and a old Toyota and still be the same level. We're gonna want to advertise our product differently, separately. So it's a matter of creating creating the product. Know what your support sponsor want. If the sponsor is comfortable with it, you could do what you want. But what
sponsor gotta get benefit.
But what you would have done, what you would have cheapened. You cheapen the product itself by, if you have one guy who is 1,000 and one guy is 100, right? And you give me the same thing as 100. What do you do? You basically cheap the whole thing.
Yeah.
I have a question though. A future question for you and Amelia. Will you all be, if y'all get a call and be interested, will y'all be interested to start the festival office over again?
To start the festival? No.
As a government and
I mean as in a body. Like,
yeah, but
right now I'm retired.
Right? You asked me, that was the question. Will you be interested?
No, because
that was the question.
I think that again, that has to be a government entity, and you have, as a retiree, you're not going,
going back. You're going back
again.
Yeah, younger people.
I think at one point they were supposed to be. They were looking at developing a
foundation.
Structure. Yeah, so that is
structure separate and apart.
Yeah, that's somewhere on the books. That is there.
For me, the answer I would think would be similar to Amelia. I'm retired as well.
But we participate. Yeah. I mean,
but we need people that know about things to get the things.
But here's the thing, Mark.
To start a foundation. Like you were saying just now. We need people that know about culture first of all. Because Because that's the problem in Angola. People that do running things now don't really ain't know nothing about the culture.
Yeah, but
That's why the reason that we having this show too now, to educate people about the culture, the past. Because the people that are now in charge doesn't have an idea.
You see, there's knowledge that we have, and I would say it this way. For me, I have absolutely no problem in sharing the knowledge, imparting the knowledge. What I did then at the tourist board or the festival office was a job. I was employed to create, and I feel satisfied that I've created, because some of the things that we created still stands today. They still exist as the standard, the hallmark. This is what people use to judge what it is. So I am glad that we did that. What I can do, is to share that information with persons if they so desire. I can't share it to persons who don't want to have that, right? But in terms of doing that everyday thing like you asked,
No.
that was then, you know.
I'm going to throw this question to both, well, not both, three of you all.
And allow
Anguilla Carnival Summer Festival 2024. I'm not going to keep on repeating for 50 years or 49 years, whatever it is. I'm going to ask you, what transformation and what approach would you, or even advice would give in terms of to enhance Anguilla Summer Festival 2024? And choose my words carefully here. What are your expectations? Kancha, you can start.
Well,
there.
I for one, the first thing I would suggest is that for the parade of troops, we have less rum following the bands around on the parade.
Let's roll.
Yeah, that's what. Because I mean, the by the time they get to the village, they're all drunk.
Yeah.
You have no problem with the roots or nothing? The
Well-
root and everything like that? Nothing? What suggestion you would have in terms of the whole parade, calypso show, everything, all the shows?
To be quite honest, personally, I haven't gotten that far. I am just, like I said, I'm involved with the
Old timers.
with the old classic old timers troupe, and I'm content with being a part of everything. I'm giving, you know, because it takes a lot. I think sometimes people don't recognize how much it takes to have a troupe on the road. You know, the cost that is involved in having a troupe on the road. And the Parade of Troops is the culmination of Carnival. And we want it to be a showpiece, you know. So, as I said before, I just would like us to become a little more, it may not happen this year, but in the future, be a little bit more creative and participate. You know, there was one year, I think, what got me into the troops, I remember one year, we were up at the office was up by Hubert Hughes building, and the troop, I don't remember what year that was, but the Parade of Troops was so bad, it was so few. I hid in the building because I was just feeling so bad. And from that year, I committed to say, you know what, we all stand on the side and we look and we criticize and we say, oh, next year we're going to get involved. And we don't. And I committed that year to getting involved in the troop, and I've been involved ever since then. You know, so for me, just participate.
Bring it.
Yeah. Well, the question again was what advice?
Yeah.
Advice you would give or what you would like to see for
Well, the first thing I would want to do is commend the fact that you have a new structure. I want to commend that. I want to put on record that I think it's a great move, because after being at the
Facility.
facility.
Yes.
I think after being at the festival office was located at the old Lansam Bowl, and I did, while at the tourist board, I did event management program and went to Barbados and, you know, different regional and look at facilities and what is required. And the year after completing that, I realized that every single thing in the Lansam Bowl was a hazard. So, like, I mean, let's say she hid at the tour, but there many nights at opening a carnival that I kind of mentally hide myself from the expectation, because the you know, it was a hazard. So I want to commend the fact that that is a new thing that is being done. What I think needs to happen beyond that now is what comes out of the facility in terms of this, the organization, the structure, the continuity. We'd mentioned earlier about, you know, the festivals and the development. So that's all the development process that needs to come out of the facility, right? The facility is one thing. That's great. It's excellent. But out of that, you need to have some type of organized structure. I think it saddens me that we keep going to the fact that we're saying we want to get back to what was. There was a reason why we should be going to what was. We should have been
Building
advanced
on.
in. We should be building on what was, right? We can't get back to what was because that's so far,
Yes.
right? You got to be building on what was. And I think right now is a matter of. I learned a lot here this evening from Concha, right? Because I would have known these things because I got involved in again 97 or 98 somewhere there, and officially working in 2001. So the knowledge that you would have had and Concha would have had, I would know that, and a lot of persons in Anguilla don't know that.
Me neither.
So also it
Thank you.
is a matter of educating people and letting them be a part of. But Mr. Benjamin used to use one analogy about summer festival, and it's always about the lead up. You know, everything is the precursor. What do you do leading up to the festival? And the lead up is very, very important. And the lead up needs everybody to be a part of. Everybody to your little piece. What you're doing here is important. It should form part of the bigger picture. You have other forum, anybody have different forums should form part of the bigger picture. And that is what you use to market the event to lead up to the climax of an exciting summer festival.
But that's what we're trying to do here on this
Platform.
informal platform.
Right.
In terms of we are not political. We are just having ordinary conversation.
Right.
It's you can speak the way you want Anguilla talk.
Right.
And you know, come back to Concha. I know Concha all my life, and it always every time I see him, and I know the history of Carnival Anguilla. The part that he played, he's unrecognized.
Yeah.
And now, Concha, the questions come back to you now in terms of exactly your feelings over the years, the work that you put in, and you see now nobody even call upon you for anything. I'm gonna speak the way I say it. You know that
is it because of knowledge that's I'm saying? It's because if you have entities now that I mean most persons wouldn't know what I've done.
right,
And I am long after Concha.
right.
So I mean if I didn't know and I don't know, then how do you expect the other persons who are there before who are there now to know? Some of the kids don't know, some of the kids I've had questions, young guys ask me what did I do? And I tell them most of the serious production that I've done they wouldn't even understand. We used to get production equipment from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Lateral Sounds is the name of a company that flew here when we did Third World back in 1995, I think it was.
That mixer board, I can remember that big mixer board.
Everything came in and cargo planes.
flight came in?
Cargo planes.
That
from
was
Puerto Rico.
surprising everybody.
So what I'm saying is that
mixer board, I remember that mixer
the
board.
point is educating people about what was done then. It's no need for because I wouldn't be competing with anybody about what and let me put this as a disclaimer. I don't need a job. I don't want a job. I don't want to be involved like you asked about it. If you guys would be willing to like, I mean, let's say the right. That's a government entity. I don't need a job. I don't want a job. Right. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm not one to look about what I didn't contribute or recognition. But if persons know, have some way to know what we have done, what somebody has done, and other persons too, then you know that they will probably use that to help them to to develop.
But I knew over the years, and maybe I skipped this because I had to go for a little bit for voice purposes and allocation of funds. And maybe you could speak more to this. I'm bringing you to as being a festival coordinator. We had to juggle funds around. There was a allocation of a certain amount of funds to run Carnival, and you know that television show, especially a person like me, who want to incentivize everybody. So it'll be a little more than if you allocate $50,000 for the television show. End of the television show, you got $60,000 because I put some incentive prices in there, and you all did a lot of juggling. Bring it, Amelia. We can speak about that.
Well, I don't really want to go back to that, to be quite honest. I think we've already established that you've never had enough funds. The shows never really paid for themselves for the most part, so you had to find a way of moving, around funds, and of course you were able to get sponsorship to supplement what you had. I would just like to say, and maybe to end, I'm being diplomatic here. To say that, sometimes one of my pet peeves is when people say, oh, this is the best ever, this is the best ever. You have to have a foundation on which to build, and so you look at what was and you try to find ways to enhance and build upon what was there. And That's all I want to
Right.
and say.
With that answer, yes, no, I don't think they build on the foundation at all. For the last couple of years, I didn't think they build on the foundation at all.
But yes,
That's my point. That's my point.
Like to follow up on what Amelia said regarding funding, you really also have to ask yourself, because there's something that we juggle with over the years that I was involved. What are the objectives of the festival itself? Because I think we focus so much energies on gate receipts, right? And there was never
the question really?
never ever a time that gate receipts was. So if you allocated X amount, it's a matter of the commerce, the economic activity within the island at that point in
And
time.
that's what Mr. Benjamin is always
exactly.
saying. That carnival is not
Not
about
about-
it's not a money making
Exactly.
thing. It's what happens
Exactly.
the rest of the island
Exactly.
as a result
Exactly.
of, you know.
And I was reading an article about Jamaica Carnival, was talking about just what you here talking
The same
about.
thing. It's most of the time how many containers would actually bring in, knowing that there's more people on the island and more commerce going on.
Yeah.
How many? And I tip my hat. There's one person that I used to look at in the Sandy Ground August Monday Beach Party. O'Reilly, the only person who understood it. O'Reilly understood it to the max, because he makes sure the supplies are always there. And when
You ran a couple times.
no, it ran out. But what I'm saying is,
You know what
it's a
people
continuous.
on the beach.
You know,
Dealing with
but you have to understand what the objectives of the festival are. And there's never time that you look at the funding that goes into it to be getting it back from the gate receipt. What I think we were lacking, and we're still probably lacking, is looking at the economic benefits of the festival to the island overall. And that's not our discussion. Is a matter of having the finance department, the economic team attached by the government and said this is what it is doing, and we never have enough statistics to show what it is doing. And I think that is where
My last two questions gonna be controversial. Amelia.
like Amelia said, that's the end of it.
No, we not and then we have to get this out because it's all part of carnival, and it's, remember, we are.
I'm not a
we-
controversial person.
It's not,
No.
when I say controversial, it's just gonna cause some debate because the way that you speak sometimes people take it the wrong way. How should we market carnival? Whether it should be on the Department of Youth and Culture or to tourism? Is that controversial? No. What do you think about it? You as part of tourism.
Right now, the market on the youth and culture right now.
No,
Yes.
so I want to hear your views about that.
I mean, it's under the Department of Youth and Culture. It's culture, so the festival, carnival, boat racing is part of our, culture. I think I'm sure that they're going to move to the next stage of having the foundation established, and I think that's where it should be.
You think?
And then the foundation,
I'm hoping,
foundation wouldn't be with under nobody, right? You would just be a
But it would be a statutory
body.
body. Well, let me take away the word statutory.
I know Brigham want to say a lot about this. I know Brigham say a lot.
But
What are you going to say here?
Since I joined, it has always been a debate about who owns it, who marks it, who manages the whole thing. And it was always between the Ministry of Social Development and the tourism ministry. That's always the debate. The years that I could remember clearly that the tourism didn't want it, right? Because it was just seemingly not the ideal tourism product, right? So it's a matter of creating a product that is sellable. If we don't have something that's sellable, really and truly, it doesn't even matter who market it, to be quite honest. Because then you could sell yourself and you sell yourself short.
But you also have to love,
Yes.
If you're not into music and
Entertainment and activities, and there are different aspects to the market. I don't think, like I said, for me, visiting some of the other islands that some of the patrons came from, Martinique and Guadeloupe was a perfect thing for me, and I saw opportunities there. When I did August Monday again, and I met people from Spain, and coming to St. Martin and then come over for the day.
I think
we realized that there's an opportunity to market that event, to sell our total product. Our boat. Let me finish, man. Our boat racing is a unique part of the product. There's only one island in the Caribbean that managed to blend boat racing with the carnival activities, and it's only Anguilla. And if we look at it properly, and create a marketing strategy, a marketing plan that incorporates boat racing and carnival. And I don't mean just us doing it around here and doing the thing. And it's much easier at this point in time now because of social media and everything else. But we have to figure out what audience are we trying to get, and we create activities to attract them, because it's whoever markets. I don't think it really matters. But a bit.
Towards what
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have the structure in place.
What percentage people that come to August Monday, where they from? The percentage.
I would want to think that most events to be sustainable, you need at least 70% locally support. I think the initially by second year thereabout, you were having, I would say, almost 50-50 in the year, because St. Martin crowd is a lot. It has been a lot
for
August Monday. Yeah, has been a lot.
But you think?
But a lot of our
we can
people
get
come
St.
home.
Martin more over to our summer festival, not just August Monday. What do you think we can do about that?
When I went to Martinique, I realized that there are a lot of people from France, like Anguillans, coming home for the summer. A lot of students goes home to Martinique and Guadeloupe for the summer. And what Friends St. Martin in particular, they did a very good job of is market our August Monday in Martinique and Guadeloupe, and tell persons to come to St. Martin, and they basically eat, sleep and stay in St. Martin, come over to August Monday for the day and go back to St. Martin. So they maximize the business aspect of our summer festival. So if you want to attract them to stay in Anguilla, then you have to look at our accommodation prices, where you're going to attract them, and also the activities from the Saturday or the Sunday to get those persons into Anguilla to stay for the extended period. But if not, you're going to also have them come for a free beach party and go back to St. Martin.
But isn't St. Martin now developing? Haven't they developed something around that same period?
Yes, because again, it's not today that they're doing that. They're doing it. I remember we causing that particular event to flop a couple years ago, because what we have is atmosphere. We have a totally different atmosphere than what they have in St. Martin. So their people are still willing to come, but you can't come and then you're outpriced with food, you're outpriced with accommodation, you don't have enough entertainment activities to keep them here. So even though we think we have a product that is sellable to certain audience, we may not, because we shorten the whole thing. So you have to now work on your product, set it out there, but people are going to come to St. Martin and they're going to still come out for the one day, because the atmosphere that we have in the August Monday beach party. You see? So if we use one or two events, and right now, if I complement what I see over the years or something in some of the new events, Ice White Shop, Poker Run, you could use some of these same particular events as marketing tools for the overall summer festival. You know what I'm saying? So persons come and they know we're going to this, so they're here. And by being here for that extended period, there's an event happening in the village, we're gonna go. There's an event happening here, we're gonna go. So it's an extended period, but you have to be harmonious.
But again, you could recall, I'm sure Amelia can recall too, Javon, where we used to have been started with the Caribbean Beach Party, 2005, where, you spoke about that before, in terms of Mercury, those companies used to come down.
Mercury. I got Mercury here, and I think people based on it more than what it is. They would just come in and support the Sunday event, because we had a discussion with them and to see what we could do.
What was the Sunday event?
It's just a beach party, similar, just a warm up to the beach party. But basically, what it was is that we spoke to them and they came in and they did support the production, part of the production that happens there, right? Really and truly, what we're saying is that you want the people to come for a longer period, right? And all you have to do is create more activities. What then and now is a matter of it can happen.
But you used to use a Zoom artist.
But we've had,
but now you find that fall off too.
No, I don't know. Last year I saw two good acts there.
Okay.
Because
we had I was there for Gramax.
No, I was there one. I saw last year they had one of the guys was a former member of Tarmy or T-Vice, one of them.
T-Voice.
The guy that was here last year.
Yeah.
And actually, I was assisting Cleo backstage, and the guy there was extremely good. I thought it was very, very good.
Because the clientele, the people that come from those countries to contribute.
Yeah, but that's what I just mentioned.
They need that element of that music for them, you know. And
To
I see
entertain
it drop off for a while. I mean, like, you know, it's as we get ready to close, Kancha.
I thought you ready to close.
What would you say now in terms of Anguilla Carnival Summer Festival 2024?
You don't go.
What would you recommend to those costume designers and
I think you did.
the people who are playing mass?
He did it already? He did, yeah, he did.
I lost some. Okay, I didn't get my records because remember I'm a curator this whole thing, right? So I'm just trying to. But
When you step up them questions, be next.
you can recap.
What I
still.
think we have the problem we have, I would call it disease, is that we don't record anything in Anguilla.
Yep.
Every year we should have been recording everything that we have recorded should have been recorded. Like you could go
In that case.
in the library and pick up a book and from 1984 to 2024
What we did, yeah.
you could see what we did for every year for Carnival.
Yes.
You can't find that.
Do you have any pictures?
That's our
Any
problem.
pictures of
I think
costumes that you
that's
did?
from that on. There's some over there in the Rotary. Right?
Is
Say
it?
it again.
I don't know if they.
The videos and stuff what Linda used to make.
The
Sunshine
Anguilla Archaeological Society.
Yeah, it's on the
I don't know.
We need a lot
That's-
of recording.
But you have
It's
nothing
something.
home. You have nothing home.
Look
for the right camera.
Is what happens? What happens most of the time, and I could speak to this clearly. When you're producing an event, you actually never get time to see where you. Right now, with technology and everything else, I think it's easier. But really and truly, over the
At
past,
times.
every year, I have to be looking for pictures of somebody from last year
Yeah.
because it's something you don't find it.
When you should have really
When you
had
should have
an
budget-
official,
exactly.
a budget for that.
had an
Exactly.
official photographer or videographer.
Exactly.
Carnival,
Exactly.
that should be in the budget.
Yes.
And
But telling people that about that being a part of the budget, and this is what you need.
They didn't understand that. They didn't
I mean,
understand that. They didn't
I mean,
understand
you can
that.
recall because we work, me and you
They
really
didn't
work
understand
together,
that
committee
time.
together.
You still don't
And
understand.
Bigger always remind me, he said, if he remembered, there's got it. Because he always know I write everything down. And the whole idea, right, we will come back to you again. We having another, I'm hoping, we have another Caribbean beach party.
You're asking me.
I'm hoping, I don't
The schedule
know.
is not okay.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know
Schedule is
that.
up?
I mean, to look
I
at
don't know, but I'm asking the question based on what
I think you all need a part two.
Yeah.
the whole aspect. What would you want to see in terms of when you knew it, because you are architect of this. I don't know exactly what the plan is and stuff like that. Talk to me about that. Because I don't want to say next questions that could be a little bit.
you get it? Like, so you probably need a part two.
And
A part two?
You
We
probably
can get part two, yes.
Look, the August Monday, in my view, is not a rocket science.
Right.
Right? It's not as
Don't give no details.
no, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's not as crazy as they want to be.
Okay.
The first thing, how much money are you willing to spend on the event? Right? Because that's what the first thing is. Also, you look at the marketing of the event. And you also need to start getting into the business aspect
The
of the
to-do
event.
list.
The business aspect of it. Understanding what the business behind the event is.
Yeah, I'm going to share one.
No, you ain't
No,
gonna
I ain't gonna do that.
the
I just did that, I
right?
just did
Because there's a whole list of things that you need to do. But seeing the end product, which most persons see, is not
right.
is far from what it takes to get that done. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, as like I said, Dice, you get now carried away now. Does it look like an off-camera discussion that we need to get? I mean,
No, we are good. We are good. And my last question, Amelia, would be like in terms of what you expect. Everybody, you say, what expectations for Carnival 2024? Simple.
I think I had that
I think
before.
I think I
Answer
answered
that already?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
Can we wrap this up now?
So this session is brought. This is our
Can you remember?
fifth session of Can You Remember? And we are in our presence today, Mrs. Amelia Vanderpool Cubis, I got it right this time.
Yes.
And Mr. Connell Harrigan, my buddy,
Connell.
Biggie, my friend, my partner. And I am Jerry Dice, and he is
Siobhan Brooks.
brought to you by Changes. And next week,
Next 2 weeks.
no, we're gonna do it next week.
Okay.
We're gonna change it because it's going. We have a lot of people to interview.
We can do this next week.
We're gonna do it next week.
We have to
Hey, producer?
a producer.
Well, tentatively, if we do it next week, we do it another week. But we have some excited people who want to come on. They can't wait.
Can we?
So they can't
Wow,
wait. So
that's
I
good.
wanted to get that.
Well, we need to have this again because this was really nice.
No, but we just said part two. We should have another part two. We have a
Thank you all
part
for
two.
coming out. I really appreciate it. Welcome to Can You Remember? Hope to have you another time. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.